Welcome to episode 4 of Calling Ghosts. I'm your host, Monkey. In our last show, we tackled Joy Division today and their contribution to the post-punk canon. And now we move right on to their next incarnation as New Order. New Order was Bernard Sumner on guitar and now lead vocals and lyrics, Peter Hook on bass, and Stephen Morris on drums. Jillian Gilbert was added on keyboards not long after the new name and lineup had been set. She had been in a local band, the Inadequates, who had used a practice space next to Joy Division's and had been dating Stephen Morris. Though it wasn't immediately obvious in the band's first release for Factory at least, the combination of Gilbert's synths, Sumner's vocals, the melodic bass work of Hook, and Morris's robotic machine-like drumming would begin to point in a more upbeat and danceable direction than Joy Division had mined. Lyrically, Sumner isn't exactly sunshine compared to Ian Curtis, but there is more of a hopeful note even in the more melancholy songs. The bass lines are brighter, the melodic lines of Gilbert's synths propel the music in a much more danceable direction, and that didn't go unnoticed stateside. After the release of the band's first album for Factory, the band was signed to American producer Quincy Jones' label, Qwest, Q-W-E-S-T, because I don't know. They would be the first all-white band signed to that label. Jones was known for his work as a jazz musician and was most noted as Michael Jackson's producer. He was the first black man nominated for an Oscar for his work on the soundtrack for the movie In Cold Blood in 1967. In short, he was American music and entertainment royal. And if they wanted legitimacy on dance floors across the U.S., an endorsement like that from Jones was all New Order needed. Their first dance hit was 1983's Blue Monday, which borrowed heavily from previous disco chart toppers but paved a new path nonetheless. It's pulsing, too long for commercial radio, aimed at a market in the US that was no longer fashionable with disco's death being celebrated years earlier, but it made a bold and broad announcement that people still wanted to shake their asses. And if you wanted to contemplate some lyrics while you did it, keep calm and let New Order move. They've been through gigantic international success, long hiatuses, and now a fractious lawsuit by Peter Hook against the band. But New Order is still touring. Some 40 years later, the ability to endure and still provide meaningful material is absolutely staggering. They certainly have the money to retire and obviously still enjoy playing too much. In their 60s, they haven't slowed much. Feel free to tell Bernard Sumner, "Okay, boomer," and he'll let you feel as good about it as you want. You'll never touch what any of these musicians has done. In a lifetime, you won't meet as many people as they've played before in a concert in Brazil in just one of their many tours. They've all lived dozens of your little lives in a matter of weeks, and they're still doing it. Okay, millennial, let's see what you got. In next week's show, we touch on REM and Southern Goth in general, a band that would influence the likes of the Smiths' Johnny Marr, Radiohead, Arcade Fire. The hand of REM has played big in the annals of post-punk legend. Be sure to hit subscribe and follow us. The playlist for this week's show is in the comments below, and if you haven't done the Joy Division show yet, remember this week was a twofer. Don't forget to go back down that path. Until next week, I'm Monkey for Calling Ghosts. Cheers. I failed to mention that I made a playlist for my girlfriend, Catherine. It's 125 songs. You can find that in the channel under the playlists. It's a mishmash of a lot of stuff. There's everything on there from the Monkees to Megadeth to, the cutting edge of post-punk now. Just a million different things. There's a Bruno Mars song on there. Just there are some little things that tie some of the songs together, going from one to one to one, but you don't need to follow that path. Just hit shuffle if you want. Don't try to stress yourself if you can't get the connection, because there's not one sometimes. But there's also ones that are very elusive if you go in the order that I planned out. And if you want to comment on that, feel free, because they're very cool. Some very obscure little bits of glue that binds some of them together. So I enjoyed making it, and I enjoy my girlfriend. So if you want to have that mix, it's publicly listed on the channel. So thank you very much, and please subscribe.